Hey, thanks for joining today for this little hand history review video. So far, after 11 days of play through November, I haven't played many hands, but I want to review 6 hands, the biggest winning hand from each position at the table. Let's get to it. Alrighty, so on the screen in front of you, you can see Poker Tracker 4 for this month of November 2018. It's been 11 days of the month so far. I've played 1,460 hands. Not a lot of volume at all, but I've seen plenty of hands definitely worthy of taking a little bit of time off the felt to study those hands. So today, like I said in the intro, 1 hand per position. Look at the biggest winning hand. The positions are right over here on the left. I normally use the summary and then the position report. You can see on the button, my win rate's pretty good. It's only 1,400 hands, but things are looking well for this month so far. 9 big blinds positive per 100 hands. So let's take a look on the button here. I have it sorted by my currency one. If I clicked it again, we could see my biggest losing hands. Click it right there, sorts it by winning. At the top, we have pocket queens. It's the biggest winning hand, but look at that. Pre-flop action, raise and then a call, so we just basically get it in pre-flop. It's not really worth reviewing. I hit a set, which is nice. But this one right here, King Jack offsuit, raise, bet, and then call on the river. So let's take a look at that. Let's see here. We raise, first end, it's a basic steal. So if they fold, we would be happy here. But we get a very lovely loose passive villain. 65% of hands he plays only raises 2. This is a perfect guy to be going for some good value against, you know. Jack 6-3, top pair, good kicker. He checks. I imagine we value bet. Of course, yep, $1 right there. And then we could get paid off by weaker jacks, flush draws, even like a 6 or a 3 that just doesn't want to fold because he's just a loose passive player, doesn't want to give up just yet. Also mid pairs like 7s, 8s, 9s, 5s or 4s might also call here. So we're getting value out of plenty of stuff. And he gives us said value. That's lovely. Turn comes a 3. He checks again. And we value bet again, roughly the same size as a percentage of the pot. So things are looking good. And he calls, gives us some good value. Now you can see right at this point, well, that prior street, 835 in the pot for 340 right there. We have less, between 2 and 3 stack to pot ratio. So, you know, if things really improve, if we hit another jack or a king, we could definitely get everything in. But the stacks are looking right to where easily we could get it all in by the river right here against a guy who's probably calling with a wide range. The 5 comes and he decides to donk lead right here. So I think looking at a bet like this, a tiny little donk lead, he could have shoved to totally bluff to try to bluff us off the pot, right? He has almost a pot size, maybe not even almost, like 80% of a pot size bet right here. So he could have thrown all of it in. He chose not to, which tells me that this is kind of a blocking bet. So maybe it's a weak jack like Jack 10 or Jack Queen even, where he doesn't want to call an all in case we have Ace Jack or even like, I don't know, Ace Jack or King Jack or even Queen Jack. So maybe he has Jack 10, Jack 9, Jack 8 kind of a hand right here. So it's a blocking bet. I could raise, but I think if I raise, I'm only getting value out of very strong hands. I don't know if every single jack is calling. The fact that he made a blocking bet means that he doesn't want to commit more chips to me. So I'm thinking a call is probably best here. He could have slow played a turn 3 or something. He could have even rivered a set of 5s for a full house. That's possible as well. So I'm down with a call. Good. Jack and calling pre-flop with Jack 4 offsuit. That's good. Well, you can see he VPIP 65%. So a really good outcome for us. Nice hand. Well played. Got some good value on the cutoff now. What do we got here? Pocket queens. That's great with a raise and a bet and a bet. I'm facing 2 limpers. So let's see what my sizing is versus limpers. 1 limp. 2 limp. Oh, so he posted. So we got... You can think of it as 3 limpers in this instance. I would like a large sized bet right here. With so many, look at all these green that we have, so many loose passive players. I got to bet big because at least one of them is going to call a big bet right here to give my pocket queens really good value. Full dollar, 10 big blinds. I love it. I love it. And 1 caller. Don't know anything about him. 50 and 0 stats. Flopping the overpair. Lovely. Things are looking good. Definitely like a stack to pot ratio of 2 to 1, so it's going to be really easy to get all of his chips in, assuming he has some kind of pair he doesn't want to give up here. Got to make the bet. Good. And he just calls. Okay. So you could see the pot is going to, it's 547, 263. Easy river bet here. He checks, and then we overshove. Sometimes I make this kind of bet to kind of make them think, you know, I'm shoving as a bluff. Like I have ace king or ace queen right now, and I want him to fold. You know, I'm making him commit his chips. That's what that can sometimes look like when you do that. So I want him to think I'm bluffing. Shove, and he folds. What a shame. But got some good value there. Out of the MP here. Ace, jack, raise, bet, 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 flop in the flush. I am loving it. 25 cents. I'm assuming I make it 6 big blinds here. That's my standard over 1 limper. Good. 6 big blinds. We get a caller. Out of position, cold calling from the small blind here. You can see the buttons right there. Flop in the flush. So lovely, man. So lovely. This is a good, so 4 big blind bet. It's less than 1/3 pot. And I just flop such an incredibly strong hand here. I'm hoping he calls with like the king of hearts, the queen of hearts, maybe like even just a 10, you know, ace 10 himself might call, or king 10 or queen 10, something like that. Something that was willing to call the 6 big blinds pre-flop. Remember, he called a cold 6 big blind. So I can't put him like a 10-7 or something like that. If he has a 10 in his range right now, it's a stronger 10, ace 10, king 10, queen 10, and probably suited like, you know, queen 10 of spades, ace 10 of clubs kind of a thing. I guess he could call with like king 10. Oh, that would be clubs as well. Or king of hearts 10. I don't know if he'd call king 10 offsuit. But, you know, I think I've got a bet to get some kind of value. Hopefully he just has a heart that he can give me value with. 10 pairs right here. He checks. Another $1 bet. Yeah, so the board got even scarier if he didn't have a 10. And if he doesn't have a heart, he's definitely folding. So I'm betting something to get value out of the guy. Nice. So you can see the pot 750 and 778 full pot size bet behind. Should be easy to get his entire stack. I like the bet. The board completed a straight draw with a queen jack. Maybe if he had like queen jack with a queen of hearts, it's possible he could have come along this far, and he's giving me $3 value. It would be awesome if he shoved like I don't know. What if he had a weaker flush? That would be great if he shoved right here. But he just check calls. And he does, he flopped a flush as well. So that's the danger in playing those baby suited connectors, because sometimes you hit and your opponent hits harder. Nice. Out of the EP. So you can see overall losing out of the EP. I mean, it's only 131 hands. I raise in a bet and then a fold. That's not really worth reviewing. Let's take a look here. Raise, bet, check, check, fold. Raise, bet, check, check with a queen jack. Let's review this hand. Raise and pre-flop, pocket sixes, totally fine. 2 callers, so good. Some, let's see, 1072 and 450 behind. Decent implied odds right here. If I hit a set, hopefully can get some max value. But basically, I just want to hit a set, hit it or quit it, especially on that kind of board. Monotone board, ace high. Yeah, I could bet to bluff. Oh, and I do. I make the bluff bet here. I like it, though. I like it. Okay, got a call. So at this point, 2 callers. Giving up this hand. If either of them have a king, a queen, or a 10 of spades, they're probably not giving up. I would have to bet big on the turn in order to bluff them off their hand. Loose passive, loose aggressive, they just don't want to give it up. He's got a short stack. By the time this pot 280, 390 behind, it's going to be tough to, I'm just giving up this hand. I'm sure of it. Check, 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 and then a bet. He folds. I'm sure I fold. Yeah, I fold as well. And it makes sense. I mean, he could have flopped a flush. He could have, would he river with a 5? I don't know, maybe a full pot size bet right here. But really, what's he getting value out of? He probably has a flush himself that he was trying to slow play, and it just didn't really work out for him, is my guess, at least. It could have been ace jack 2 pair as well. Yeah. So you can see, I mean, I lost basically the minimum right there. I made 1 bluff C bet on a really ugly board, and wasn't able to take it down. Oh well. Out of the big blind, what do we got here? Oh, that was losing hands. Jack, check raise and then a re-raise. Love it. I love it. Let's see what happens here. You're min raising under the gun. What are you doing? I can't fold. Suited jack. And look, he's a super loose aggressive player. C betting 90% on the flop and then turn 44. So this player right here is basically a one and done flop honest player. So I can call a bet on the flop, especially if I hit some kind of pair. I can check and then call. As soon as he checks behind the turn, I can fire the river to take it down as a bluff. So not a bad situation to be in. And I flop 2 pair on a really ugly board. He'll never see this coming. He'll never see this coming. He overbets. Okay. So he likes his hand, wants to get max value, or is he trying really hard to bluff? Does he have pocket 4s? Does he have ace 5 offsuit with a gut shot kind of a hand? 120. I like the raise, and it's a min raise too. He's not going to suspect this. I think I min raise because maybe I just called. I mean, I could have all the sets in my range, although jacks I don't have. I have a set of deuces, set of 3s. Min raising could be some kind of a bluff with like 4-5 as well. Ace 5. I said he might have it. I could have ace 5 here too as a gut shot plus 1 over as a bluff for the min raise. Good. So he overbet. I raise. He re-raises. I re-raise. I am telling him I have a super strong hand. I'm telling him I have like at a minimum top pair or better here. And he's telling me with his bet and then 3-bet, he's telling me he really likes his hand. I mean, he might have aces, kings, or queens in this instance. We're a min raise pre-flop though with those against at a micro stake table. You got to bet bigger with your value hands. Definitely charge them to come in. Jack 3. Oh my gosh, incredibly lucky. Full house, and then look at that. So my raise right there, I only left myself 234 behind. So really easy to get it in on the turn. I guess I wanted to give him one more street to hang himself instead of shoving over here on the flop. I just made it 690. Basically not really click. Yeah, I guess it was just clicking it back. $1.20. He raised it 280. It was a click back. Exactly. So I just made the min raise on the flop, min raise. I'm sorry. First one was a min raise. Second was a min raise just to get him to commit. And it worked. Got the full house. Lucky hand. Pocket aces. Wow. Yeah, I got lucky there. That was a really good hand. I love it. So let's see the final hand out of the small blind here. What do we got? Oh, look at that. $20 pot. 25 NL, I'm sure. Yeah, 25 NL. Good. So ace jack offsuit facing a limp. I love the 6 big blinds. Let's take a look at this guy's limp stats first off. He limps. All right, took a few seconds, but let's see. His limping 44% of the time. Limp calls 65% of the time, so this is great. He is perfect for raising against, expecting him to call with every weaker ace. Ace deuce offsuit even, ace 9 offsuit, all that kind of stuff. This is great right here. A really good opportunity to put myself in. He doesn't like to fold. Folds to rivers quite a bit, but doesn't like to fold a flop or turn. So let's see, a fold and then a call. Perfect. Flop in the top pair, decent kicker. Good situation to bet for value. So I check. I guess maybe I'm planning to check raise. He decides to put out the full pot size bet right here. What is his? Gosh darn it. There we go. When he is in position, he floats 27% of the time. So he really does like betting. In Poker Tracker 4, a float bet is somebody betting when you, as the C better, checks instead. So he's making the flop float, which I expect him to make. So this is great. We're getting some crazy value here out of the guy. We min raise good. Probably hoping that he shoves at this point. And he just calls. Okay. Now the 9 hits, so I guess I mentioned ace 9 earlier. Ace 9 currently beat us. But look at, it's exactly a 1-to-1 stack to pot ratio. 625 in the pot, 1625, in the pot, and then 1625 behind. I think this is a perfect opportunity to shove. And he calls. This is great. He's probably calling ace deuce, ace 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. If he calls ace queen, ace king, he's got us beat at this point. We do have 3 outs to hit a 2 pair to beat him. Or if he does have ace 3, ace 4, ace 9 already, he's got us crushed. But at this point, such a loose passive player, we've got to make this kind of bet for value because I believe he can call with a really wide range. He might even call with let's say he's capable of limping and then calling pre-flop with 10s and he just doesn't believe that we have anything, 10s or jacks. That's a potential as well. I wouldn't say that he has that quite often here, but you never know. So we are getting value out of a lot of stuff, I think. The 3 hits, so 2 pair jack kicker. Ace 10, nice. That's perfect. You could see, if he's capable of limping and then calling so often, and he has ace 10 in his range, I must isolate here with ace jack, ace queen, and ace king for sure. Even ace 10, I bet you he can call, make this exact same play with ace deuce, 3, 4, 5, all the way up. All of them, you know. So yeah, some good value so far. So as you can see, the month has been going well. $45 up, 9 big blinds per 100 hands. Only 1,400 hands. I know. I haven't gotten to the tables as much as I should. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I recommend that you do this kind of stuff through your own database occasionally. Look at big winning hands. Maybe, not maybe, in a future video, I'll look at some big losing hands. Maybe at the end of November. Look at our biggest losing hands by position, you know. But thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Click that subscribe button down below. Ding that bell to get notified of new videos that come out. And I'll catch you later.